Timothy Chalamet said that the creator of Marty Supreme, Josh Safdie, told him it was really a movie about being an idiot in your 20s. Now, I saw the movie and I loved it. And whether that's because I was an idiot in my 20s, for which I have one more year to prove the case, or because I found the ambitious hunger of Marty Mauser enthralling, is up for debate. The movie for me wasn't quite about being an idiot in your 20s. It was more about being an ambitious idiot in your 20s. Now that I can get behind. It's one of the reasons I found myself captivated by the movie. I had, and still have, a fierce ambition. Ambition is a lovely, life affirming energy that drives you toward success through discipline, determination, and hard work. With ambition, the how of getting something done is mostly a matter of time. But how does one take idiotic, or rather immature ambition, and bring it into a state of greater maturity? The supreme what? Alberto Romero recently dropped his notes on AI agents in a piece titled, "You Spend Your Whole Life Getting Good at the Wrong Thing." My main takeaway from the piece is, given the fact that the most powerful AI tools today collapse the process of doing things inside a computer into basically a wish, we won't need to worry about the how of doing things anymore and can focus our time and efforts on determining the what. This is a subtle yet massive reorientation in how tasks are traditionally approached. It's crazy to reflect on, but I took little time contemplating what I would spend 4 years studying at college. I knew the first week of Accounting 101 that the only accounting I do in my career was accounting for the years I lost studying it. It's of course easy to say that in hindsight. At the time, I was lost with no clue of what I wanted. I kept moving forward because I knew I could make a living, and that with that living, I could find what I wanted for my life. I think spending time homing curiosity and interest to find what matters to you will become more important than ever and will be step one rather than a simple afterthought. Once I finished school and the remaining goals attached to the degree I didn't want, I made the choice to find the vocation I wanted to dedicate my life to, my supreme what. This is where ambition served a great purpose. I was working a demanding job and had started developing the greatest relationship of my life. With the little time I had left, I could wield the fire of my ambition to pursue my career side quest, which was really the main quest, to figure out what my supreme what was. Finding it was not easy. I would ask myself a question about what I should try, and there came an answer from within. So I gave that thing a try. After all, it was the best answer that came at that moment. Fierce ambition said, time to become number one. And after 1 month of trying to stream video games, it said, yeah, bro, this ain't the one. Finding what took years, because finding what is not a job search, it's a soul search. If it wasn't for the individuation journey, I would not be who I am today. And it was a self-discovery that made finding the vocation a matter of effort for which my newly matured ambition was ready. I think this is why many shy away from ambition, because for something to become mature, it must first become. There's no doing away with immaturity before there is maturity, and those beginning phases of ambition can be cringe, embarrassing, and shameful when reflected on by future you, especially if you're a ruthless self-critic. And if you're a writer listening to this, there's almost a certain chance that you are. I needed to stumble through constant responses to the question, okay, where are we headed next? Through answering the question many times over, I honed not only the discovery of the vocation, but more importantly, myself. When I ask myself that question now, all of my responses are acutely focused on projects within the vocation. The responses are not things like, let's try becoming a professional basketball player. Fear not, NBA players. I've given that one up and will not be a force that you have to reckon with. And so I found my supreme what. Wielding idiotic ambition, although embarrassing, is necessary to wield mature ambition. Part of maturing that ambition, too, is making room for the important parts of your life, which are not solely the vocation, another point Marty Supreme touched on. Falling in love right as I finished school forced me to see this, and through that, I learned how to hone my ambition in a disciplined manner while still making the time to start building a family. With sights on the supreme what, and the ambition no longer immature, it is not only the fire that fuels, but is now something that can be used to burn away the apprentice and leave the craftsman standing. Now it's time to transform, the Kwisat Haderach. I hate to admit this publicly, but I'll do it anyways. I think I love Timothy Chalamet. My first bout of admiration came after his infamous award speech, in which he walked up on the stage and in a humble bow said, I know we're in a subjective business, but the truth is I'm really in pursuit of greatness. I know people don't usually talk like that, but I want to be one of the greats. It's an archetype of person I haven't seen represented in the pop culture in a long time, or ever really. Someone with that energy who wasn't also arrogant or terribly self delusional. Just an extremely high aiming ambition with a belief that you can do something big. What's wrong with aiming so high? Why is it so rare? Is it a fear of failure? A fear of being truthful as to how high you really aim? I don't know what it is fully, and I'm sure it's many things, but I wonder if it was always that way. When you know where to look and you find yourself looking on a clear day, you can see the top. So I net aim as high as you can see. And Marty Supreme was a great exploration of that question. Truth be told, there are a lot of sacrifices that come at the top. So it is said. I, on the other hand, think that mature ambition can help you aim high and not destroy everyone's life around you. I've seen it do the opposite. You start to morph and become something other, something magical. In another interview, when asked about the speech, Timothy said that he may have had some of the energy and tone of the character with him as he gave that speech because they had finished filming Marty Supreme 2 months prior. What's more interesting to me isn't his answer to the question, but that he's been asked about that speech so many times. It's as if others are so perplexed out as to how someone could have said something as such up on that stage, as opposed to, all the other great things that are said in award show stages. I think people realized in that moment that Timothy was no longer just a kid from Interstellar, but he was indeed the Kwisatz Haderach, the magician. The practice of magic consists in making what is not understood understandable in an incomprehensible manner. Carl Jung. I read a blog post written by one of the world's greatest body painters. Talk about someone who aimed and achieved high. She was making a living from her art, had a partner, friends, weekly dinner parties where those friends would bring strangers for her to meet, and she even traveled to Austria for several years to compete in the body painting world championship, frequently placing in the top 4 or 5. For her, getting first place and being number 1 was conceivable. She knew that she could do it with incremental improvements, speed, more detailed realism, a competent assistant, an element of luck. A combination of those things, and 1 year, she could achieve number 1. That was until Sanatan Dinda came along. He practiced the art in an appallingly different way. The frame of which he approached body painting was so utterly different that it mystified her. She already knew that not only is any sufficiently advanced technology indistinguishable from magic, but any sufficiently advanced technologist seems like a magician. Wielding mature ambition and knowing your supreme want might give you the path, but to mature the growth to a point of magic, you need to surround yourself with fellow magicians. As a body painter reflected, the way to extraordinary growth and changes often involve the fundamental ontological or lens shift in how you see the world. Magicians are wearing not just better, but fundamentally different shaped lenses to the rest of us. The magicians of writing story make the mysterious impossibility of writing a work of fiction a mere matter of how. When I started the craft of writing fiction and wanted to draft my first novel, Brandon Sanderson was my magician. He paved the path for me so that I could understand how to move from nothing to the end in a satisfying way. Through his lessons, I took his magic and learned not just how he made magic, but how I could cast my own spells. Whatever pursuit you find yourself after, magicians are always around. Lucky for those of us who aren't yet in the upper echelons, those magicians write books, post lectures on YouTube, have social media accounts where they give away most of their material in their spell books. It makes stumbling around a lot easier when the magician for the magic you seek to understand awaits you at the next corner. And maybe one day, through all your stumbling, people will look at you aghast because you have stumbled so much and so often that you've become a magician yourself. The best part of all of this is that you don't need to run a furious race like Marty Mauser, hurting nearly everyone you encounter. You just need to wield ambition and keep stumbling forward, reorienting along the way. And I think that's the secret to it all. Magicians have stumbled so much that they've managed their way to the top of some mountain that others cannot understand how in the world they could have climbed. Little do they know that at one point they were also an idiot, also in their 20s, and also stumbling around without a clue. So to fellow practitioners of the stumble and to those of you who wield magic, this was for you. And if you enjoyed this was a readout of a piece I wrote on the Frontier Letter, which you can find in the link in the description below. And you could subscribe to get those pieces ahead of time before they're recorded on YouTube. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe and leave a comment if this resonated with you. Thank you, everybody, and I will see you in the next one.